Amen. So I figured I should read the man's words on this idea of eternal recurrence, um, which you could say is really the heaviest weight that Nietzsche was trying to lift for the human race. That was the core of his news concerning the death of God and the need for a new kind of human being beyond the inherited moralities of our past. Um, Eternal recurrence was that doctrine which um, was hardest, uh, most would say, for Nietzsche to bear and to share with his readers. So this is from some notes in Nietzsche's um, notebook written in 1881. He writes, "The world of forces does not suffer diminution. Otherwise, in infinite time, it would have grown weak and perished. The world of forces suffers no cessation. Otherwise, this would have been reached, and the clock of existence would have stopped. So the world of forces never reaches equilibrium. It never has a moment of rest. Its force and its movement are equally great for all time. Whatever state this world can attain, it must have attained it, and not once, but countless times. Take this moment. It has already been once, and many times it will return, as it is with all its forces, distributed as now. And so it stands with the moment that gave birth to it, and with the moment that is its child. Man, your whole life will be turned over like an hourglass, time and again, and time and again it will run out, one vast minute of time in between, until all the conditions which produced you in the world's circular course come together again. Then you will find again every pain and every pleasure, and every friend and enemy, and every hope and every error, and every leaf of grass and every shaft of sunlight, the whole nexus of all things. This ring, in which you are a teeny grain, shines again and again, and in every ring of human existence, altogether, there is always an hour when, first for one, then for many, then for all, the most powerful thought surfaces, that thought of the eternal recurrence of all things. Each time it is for humanity the hour of midday." So it's a chilling thought, but I can understand why for Nietzsche it would also be a sort of exciting prospect, or um, a very transformative and uplifting realization, um, that this were in fact in some way true, that unless we can fully not only accept but desire with all of our being the moment as it exists now, then we're not living authentically. Um, because for Nietzsche, this moment has existed countless times before and will exist countless times afterwards. And so if you're not present with it fully now, you're lost. You're never going to get it because it's already there, already has been, and forever will be. So um, it's a cyclical understanding of time. And but the thing is, though, he's talking about these forces that don't suffer diminution. He's talking about the universe as though it has always existed, and we know that since Einstein's discoveries and or what Einstein's equations allowed us to discover based on observations of background radiation and light from distant galaxies and so forth. Um, we now know that the universe did have a beginning, and that it's somehow developing in a certain direction. In the science of thermodynamics, the second law says that um, entropy will eventually rule. It will win out. But we've, since discovered with the sciences of complexity and open thermodynamic systems that that doesn't mean that there also couldn't be an extreme level of complexity um, sort of emerging as entropy increases. So we have then a universe developing in a certain direction towards ultimate energy um, dispersion and ultimate complexification of that energy. But it's moving in a direction. And I think McKenna's time wave is also moving in a direction. It's teleological, and Nietzsche's eternal recurrence is completely denying telos, completely denying purpose in time. Nietzsche is saying that time is a circle, going nowhere, always already here. And, you see, it's not so much that this isn't true, it's just that if there is something called history, and it's going to end, and it had a beginning, then somehow there's another truth that eternal recurrence hasn't captured. There's the truth of the purpose of our universe. And maybe 2012 is going to reveal the purpose of human history. And that may resituate us in regards to what we think the purpose of the cosmos is. But, human history itself, the end of human history, won't be the end of the cosmos, I wouldn't think. So we're going to, perhaps on 2012, resituate ourselves as human beings on the planet Earth, but we'll still be in the same evolving universe, which has always had its own purpose for us. So the transcendental object at the end of time is billions of years in the future. But again, perhaps in the next several years, human beings will gain a different understanding of time, of the temporal dimension, such that billions of years no longer seems like that long. So, is eternal recurrence in any way like what's going to happen on 2012? And maybe nothing. That would be my best guess, actually. But let's say that something does happen. If it is the end of a developmental sequence, a historical development, then it may be something like a realization of Nietzsche's eternal recurrence, but only temporarily. Because then a new sequence will begin, and a linear understanding of time will reign once more until we reach the end of that cycle and for a moment recognize eternal recurrence, and then proceed again to involute and evolve through a historical period of some sort. But again, there'll still be the universe that we're in, beyond our particular human way of being in that universe, that has its own purposeful development. So, Nietzsche's great for speculating, not so great for concluding.